I wish I knew some Yiddish. We could get started.
I thought the notice said that he would be logged in before 8 o'clock.
It
Yeah.
did.
Stuff
Okay.
happens.
Where are you calling in from?
Right outside of Philadelphia.
Me too.
I live in the Lower Makefield Township. Where do you live?
Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Okay. Young lady, where are you from?
Highland Park, New Jersey, which is central New Jersey.
Okay.
I'm sensing a theme.
Hi, Harvey. How are you? Harvey, can you hear me?
Yes, hear you loud and clear, Barry.
Okay.
Excellent. Good evening.
Good evening.
Harvey and I are one of the people who attend both the other Yiddish session and this Yiddish Lite session.
Oh, so you're big time Yiddish speakers.
No, but
Just the opposite.
we learn
Two.
we learn a little bit from both types of sessions.
Okay. Well, then since you two are ahead of Rebecca and myself, you two can lead the group if Alan doesn't show up.
Well, Alan sings a lot better than I do, and that's often his method of teaching.
That works. I still have all of the words to Barry Manilow's Copacabana stuck in my head. And I can't remember my daughter's phone number, but I can remember every word to Copacabana. So music must work.
Yeah.
The brain is a funny thing.
I wish I could swap. Trade out some of those lyrics for some things that I want to remember.
I'll be back in a minute.
We'll be here.
The last Yiddish Light was canceled because it coincided with 4th of July.
Hmm.
That must have mixed up people's schedules.
It's the time of year people go on vacation too. You
Sure.
know?
Oh, we're growing.
Well, somebody is the host to let these people in.
No, I was the first one on.
So you're
And
the host.
I just joined the meeting and it said it was automatically set up to record when I joined.
But usually a Zoom host has a waiting room and he has to decide whether to allow the people in or not.
Well, I was the first one in and there was no one hosting.
I actually helped do a Zoom posting thing for something else. And you can set it up so that either people have to wait or they can just come in.
I see.
Right, but I've never been in a meeting that was recording as soon as I joined. I was the first one. I didn't have to tell it to record. So it must have been in the initial setup.
Well, Mike Rosenberg has a name but no audio or video yet. Are you there, Mike?
Done. No, is there?
Doesn't sound like it.
It's 8:01.
The link that I joined was the second link that was sent out, where he said, use this one instead.
Yeah, that's one I used.
Right, so I wonder if there's anybody on the old link.
I'm going to see if I have Al's phone number.
I don't. I have his email, but not his phone number.
He would be on this link though, since he sent out, this was the link he sent out the message that said, I'll be on and,
So Phil, you say you have his email address?
Yeah, but not his phone number.
Okay, you want to send him an email and say, where are you, or something like that?
Sure.
So Harvey, if Al doesn't show up, should we teach a few words ourselves?
Yes.
You're the expert, Barry, because you always give us the vocabulary list in the other group.
And that's only because I do a bunch of searches, that's all.
oh, here's something.
A bunch of searches for what?
Well, what happens is my other presenter on the other group, we decide on a topic and we put together a list of Yiddish, English words, and then we do there's an app on our computer that lets us do the English to Yiddish translation.
Okay.
So that's how we get the words.
Do you start with all the dirty words?
Excuse me?
Do you start with all the dirty words?
No, that's the
So-
other group. Their work
Ah,
last week, or this coming next week, they're doing Yiddish curses.
that's the important stuff.
Yeah.
So, Barry, what app is that you get these words on translated? Can you hear me?
Yeah, was that Mike?
Yeah, sorry, my camera's not working, I guess. But I was just saying, what is the name of that app? I'd like to see that.
It's not an app on the on a smartphone. It's just on my laptop. You can put in Google English to Yiddish translation.
Oh, Google? Okay, I'll try that. All right, thanks.
There's also a Yiddish English dictionary that the University of Kentucky has.
Oh, okay.
That's surprising.
It is, but
You would think maybe NYU, maybe Brandeis, but no, University of Kentucky.
okay. Yeah, it's good. The only trouble is if you're looking for something, it's harder for common words because it searches by keywords. So if you do something and they're like art, and there are a lot of words that have that in combination.
Hmm.
You'll get a lot of hits and you have to sort through it.
Okay, Harvey, how about we get, since nobody's heard from Alvin, should we just go ahead and teach a few words?
I'm not a good teacher.
Well, don't have to be a good teacher.
You don't have to be a good teacher.
And my Yiddish dialect or accent is off.
That's
No
okay.
Rebecca and Philip and Mike and Claire, if you have a piece of paper, you can jot down some of these words that we're going to give you.
Okay,
Okay,
sure.
Okay. Okay. First one is Punim. Punim, which is face.
Yeah.
Shana Punim, right?
Dana Punim.
Pretty
Yeah,
face, I know that one.
yeah. So we have two words, Shana and Punim. Eugen are your eyes.
I never heard of that one.
In my
Somebody just-
family, it was called Egelach.
Okay.
Egalach. Oh, blue eyes, Egalach.
No, just little eyes.
Blue
Egalach.
eyes.
Egan, Egelach.
So
Harvey, do you know the word?
Eugen and Agen are just two pronunciations of the
Yeah,
same.
probably so. Lidbach and Glitzion.
Huh.
Depending on where you came from in Europe. Two pronunciations. Harvey, do you know the word for nose?
Nose. Nose.
Nose. N-A-Z is nose.
And AZ.
Naz.
Nose.
What about mouth, Harvey? Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. All right. Ears.
Oren.
Say it louder.
Was it Oren?
Okay. We'll say for right now until we're corrected, it's ears are Oren, like O-R-E-N, Harvey.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Mouth is moil.
That's mouth. Right.
Oh, yeah. Moil is mouth.
How do you spell that?
M-O-Y-E-L.
In the book I have, it's M-O-Y-L.
Okay.
Moil, okay.
It's
Okay.
distinguished from a
And-
moil.
and- Yeah, what's the
Right,
Yiddish word for moil then?
That's
Just-
usually M-O-H-E-L, but
Right.
it's pronounced moil. But the Hebrew is mohel, but in Yiddish they just call it moil.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, hi, Renata. How are you?
Good. Sehr
Okay.
good.
We, for some
Great.
reason, we don't have Al tonight. I don't know what's happening. And so Harvey and I are teaching some basic words.
But that was a good word that Renata just used, zer and gut. Zer gut,
Yeah,
very
good. G-U-T,
And zer.
good. And
And what's that just mean? Very, very good?
Yes.
yes. And let's, schlecht is bad. I guess like S-H-L-E-K-H for bad.
Schlech.
I think there's a T at the end.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
It's Schlet, not Schlech.
Schlecht.
Schlecht.
Oh. Schlecht, gotcha.
So instead of
Okay.
Zayer goods, it would be Zayer schlecht.
Renata,
Uh-huh.
if some of the other participants are writing some of these words down that are new to them, Um,
I always mixed up schlecht with schwach. And schwach, I think, is weak.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Stark, strong, schwach, weak.
okay. Here's another one. Mieskite. Mieskite means ugly. Harvey or Renata, you want to contribute some words to this lesson?
Well,
got-
go ahead.
no, you
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Well, I was thinking of the way Al started. The first lesson, he sang a song, which happened to be Eufen Pripachuk, Brenta Feierl. And he translated each word from the Yiddish into English. Then the next lesson was Rozenkis mit Mandlin. In dem Beis Hamikdosh in Avinkel Lecheder, Zixti Almone Bastion, and he translated each word. And I learned a lot from that. And then another lesson, he went over all these phrases, and we have a glossary that includes all these phrases, and he translated each word in the phrase.
That sounds good.
I don't know how to get the phrase on my screen without dropping Zoom, though.
There's a chat
Um,
box.
What you can, oh,
If,
sorry.
if you go to chat, you would chat to everyone.
Well, I would have to open the glossary first and then share the screen, or the host would share the screen.
You can, if the host makes you co-host, then you can access share screen and get into your computer.
Well,
I don't-
who's the host of this meeting?
You
That's
don't
what I
have
was just
one.
going to ask.
Oh, that's right, because he's not there. You know, yesterday, I got the date wrong. I thought it was yesterday, and I got on to the site, onto Zoom. Evidently, he lets you in even if he's not there. It's set up that way.
That's what Phil found tonight. He was the first
Yeah, I
one
was-
to log in.
Yeah. Let me see if, let me check participants. I don't see a host.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's no host. So, I
All
mean,
Indians, no chiefs.
yeah, basically.
Mm.
Let
You
me,
I think anybody can, let me just try this. Okay, host disabled participant
Yeah.
screen sharing,
yeah,
even though we don't have a host.
well, it's the settings, the way you set up the meeting. So,
Yeah,
I
you
don't-
know,
but
Let's
I
go on.
have, I think I may have the list of words. I mean, if you have the list, we could just say them. We could just share them orally if you want.
I'm gonna look for the list. I'm gonna,
So while you're looking, my wife added that the opposite of mieskite would be zieskite. So,
Zeus
Yeah.
is sweet.
Yeah.
Another one is sugar, which is sugar.
maybe Phil's wife should be teaching us tonight.
I think that was the extent of her Yiddish.
Ah,
So there's one I like, and it's a verkrimpte Huken.
Okay, hold on.
What's
I-
that? Renata, what does that phrase?
A verkrimpte Huken is like a wrinkled hag,
A what?
like a wrinkled or hag, or
Oh.
misshapen hag. Verkrimpte
Oh.
is like wrinkled, but
And what's the second word?
and a Huken, Hookin, is how I visualize it. And a Huken is like a hag. And if, what? A Marshaifa is a witch.
Well, hopefully
Another
we
word
won't
for
have
head
too
is
many,
cup,
too
like
many uses for
CUP for head. Um, I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh, okay. Child is kinder.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And if you want to distinguish the sex of the child, you can say Zun for son, like ZUN for son, SON. And the other one is, I'll wait till everybody's finished.
Mhm.
Another one is daughter, Tochter.
Doctor, yeah.
With a T?
Yeah. Another one is wife, which is Vab, like VAB. And the other one for husband is Man, like MAHN, Man. Stephen, welcome.
Hello there. Glad to be here. Sorry, better late than never.
So we have all these students here, but we don't have Al.
Oh, really? Do we
I've got
know
the
that?
list,
So-
but it won't let me share it. It says it says the host has disabled sharing.
So we're improvising.
Oh, okay. I'm playing-
So
Follow the leader.
a few of us have been to previous classes. We're teaching words to the people for whom this is the first class.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Okay.
it's not my first class.
Oh,
It's-
I'm sorry, Rebecca.
It's mine.
Yeah.
It's mine, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay, next one is grandchild. Anoka. Grandchild, Anaka. Anaka. I can't pronounce it correctly.
Yeah,
How do you
can you spell it?
Anakel and Anaklach.
How do you spell that?
I give
Mine
up.
anicle.
Okay, grandchild.
Just spell it out phonetically, that's all.
Anna. Right.
Yeah, but sometimes it's hard to hear. So
Okay,
it's easy, so it's easier if we have just sort of a guide in terms of letters.
maybe AINNELKEH.
Ah,
In the book I have called Learning Yiddish Made Easy,
Yeah,
grandchild is spelled
Amazon that.
EIN, right?
EYNIKL.
Anakel.
good.
EYN.
We pronounced it Einekla, or Einekel at home. But it's a different dialect.
yeah, depending on what part of Europe your ancestors came from.
Yeah.
Okay, grandmother is Bubba. or- Grandfather is Zeta. And if you have a great grandmother, it would be Alta Bubba.
Really? Know that.
And a great grandfather is Alta Zeta.
Are you guys going down a list? Sorry, because I'm not sure where you're all referring to.
We're
you
just
at the-
doing this off the cuff.
Oh,
because
okay.
Al's not here.
You're going out.
They've
to the
been to
closet.
other classes and these are the words that they went through.
I've got this list of 32 expressions,
Oh.
but I think what Barry is teaching us is a lot more helpful, because
Yeah.
these expressions have lots of words in them, like a goy hat nicht kein seichel, a Gentile
Yeah.
has no common sense. Pejorative, be careful.
Right.
Your rear end is tuchus.
Or as the Goyim say, a tuchus.
And of course, the English tush comes from that.
Right.
Tush, tushy.
Well, I threw my email up in the chat. So if anybody has anything that they can forward, I would be happy to have it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a
Let me
physical
write it
list.
down.
When Al gets you on the email list, he
Yeah,
sends
I'm on.
out every 2 weeks, he sends out this glossary and his expressions. He sends out
Got it.
everything he's done from the beginning.
Wonderful.
I can get you, I can send that right now. I'm not seeing your address though.
It's in the chat. If you open
I
the,
tried to go into
Oh,
chat
sorry.
and it doesn't show anything.
The
Show
show
chat,
previews, but there's nothing there.
nothing in there. So
Here, look,
Phil, can you spell?
here, I'm gonna send it again. See if you got it this time.
Okay, yeah.
got it?
PHI.
two
Let me-
L's.
Okay, yeah, now I have it. PHILLIP. Godrov. Gmail.com. Okay.
That's one advantage of having a fairly unusual name.
Many years ago, from the synagogue I was in, there was an Ed Godrov.
Probably like my great uncle.
Okay.
Stephen
Opposed-
Kutzen, are
as
you
opposed to-
related?
As opposed to a not so great uncle?
Stephen,
No,
are you related to-
my grandfather was one of 10 boys.
Wow,
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah, big family.
Yeah.
What were you gonna ask, Harvey?
Stephen, are you related to Dan and Chana Kotzen, the curators in Buffalo, New York at Temple Bazion? And they're just about to leave Buffalo.
No, is it spelled the same way, Kotzin?
There might be 2 N's at the end.
Yeah, there are a bunch of Kotzins, which I never really realized until about the last 10 years. I do have a cousin, Marshall Kotzin, in Buffalo. I think he's in Tonawanda over there, but he's probably in his early to mid 70s.
Mhm.
But it was funny because when I moved, I grew up in Rochester, and I moved down to Orlando, and as an insurance adjuster, working for this particular office, I walked into a whole bunch of claims with Hurricane Andrew back in 92 or 93. And I called this particular insured that was making a claim, and I told him my name. This is Stephen Kotzen. And he says, wait a minute. I says, what? He says, Stephen Kotzen is my doctor. This is, well, I'm not your doctor. But he was Kotzen, but there are a bunch of Kotzins, but that was funny with this guy.
Anybody else want to contribute some additional words?
Well, when you were talking about Kinder, there are kleine Kinder or kleine.
Yeah.
KLE, here, I'll write it.
Es wird helfen via Lachem Cup.
Yeah.
Es wird helfen via Lachem Cup. It'll help like a hole in the head. Or
What's kleine
Es-
Kinder?
es wird gar nicht helfen. Es wird gar nicht helfen. It will be of no help. Hopeless.
For those of you who have siblings, your brother is a brooder, like a BRUDER. And if you have brothers, plural, it's breeder, BREEDER. Harvey, if I'm correcting me, or anybody else correcting me if I'm wrong.
And the Schwester for sister.
Schwester is your sister. Like,
Mhm.
I don't even want to take a guess at trying to spell it right.
Shvester.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca.
Tante is an aunt.
Tanta.
Yeah.
Is that what you said, Tanta?
Tante.
Yeah,
Tante.
I can't spell tonight, sorry. Tanta.
Tanta. What, so what about uncle?
Is that Hunkel? Uncle?
We call it
Better.
Vetter.
Tanta.
Better with an F?
Mhm.
Yes, with an F. I'm just trying to check they standardized the spelling, so I'm trying to do it the way it's standardized, but they don't have it, so I'll just guess.
FETT.
That's it. I've got another place I can look for the spelling. You know, I began to realize that I really didn't learn to read and write Yiddish until I took a class this spring, and I realized my whole life it was just auditory,
Yeah,
and that seeing it in writing was so different than the way I had visualized it or heard it.
for those who attended Hebrew school, that helps with the spellings of the Yiddish words.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is my grandfather had a store, and on the store there was written in Yiddish, Horowitz, in Yiddish. And nowadays in Israel, there's a lot of people named Horowitz and they spell it different. Spell it with a bet instead of the two vowels.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I mean, because I can read Hebrew and I find it usually easier to read the Hebrew letters, to read words in Hebrew than to read like a transliteration of it.
Sure.
That's just me,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But Evo, in the sometime in the early 20th century, standardized the transliterations. So I'm trying to follow that,
Mhm.
but you know, I'm just beginning with my literacy.
I'm sure there's got to be videos on YouTube, tutorials. I mean, now that you know, I'm thinking about it.
There is a program that's available on Google. If you type in Duolingo, Duolingo,
Mhm.
it's a free program.
Hmm.
But you somehow you can also pay for the program. Difference between the two, you don't get any commercials with the paid version.
Mhm.
Here's one of Al's expressions. It has a bunch of vocabulary words in it. Sollst wachsen wie a Zwiebel mit Kopf und Dreht und von Fuss Arinter. Sollst wachsen, you should grow wie a Zwiebel, like an onion, mit Kopf, with your head in Dreht, in the earth, in the ground, on Fuss, and your feet are rinter, sticking up. So we have words like Vaxen is to grow, Sibylla is an onion, cup is head,
You knew that.
Bird is
Sibyl's
brown.
onion.
Fuss is feet.
You knew that, right? Sibyl onion.
Well, you know what gets really tricky with this language is that I took a basic beginner Yiddish course at SUNY Buffalo when I was there working prior to coming to Florida. And it was interesting because there was a bunch of university kids there. I mean, at the time I was about 31 or so. These guys were all like from high school, but it was a true beginner Yiddish course. I mean, we had a little book, and I'll have to trying to think of where it was. I'd hold it up here and let you know what it is, but it was quite easy to learn until they got into the grammar of putting sentences together. And it's crazy, this language. I mean, when you're like trying to place an adjective, you don't put you put the adjective after what it is that you're describing in some cases not. And very, very difficult to grasp is what I found. That's when I got lost. I did okay with the course, but I really felt that it needed to really have a conscious course of grammar to be able to, actually converse in a language as opposed to just utilize expressions. But I don't know anybody that actually converses it. I mean, I know a lot of people that have a lot of expressions and they throw them right out there as soon as they get the opportunity for the right one. But as far as actually conversing in the language, I haven't seen anybody actually do that.
We
I know
used
my
to get,
grandparents did, but
Stephen?
Yeah.
Stephen?
Yeah.
Are you a member of the other Yiddish group?
no.
Okay, because that would be a good thing for you to become a member of, because then you're hearing more Yiddish spoken. Like when they introduce new members, Busses and Van Newman, things like that. What is your name?
where if you heard about Yiddish Alive,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yiddish Alive.
Uh-huh.
voice too.
That sounds like, that sounds like it might be more beneficial. I mean, I don't know why we couldn't do that in this class. I mean, try to have a little conversation, like have people say, my name is, where are you from, or something like that.
Yeah, where were you born?
Right.
another thing that we had in the other group was some YouTube videos of these two comedians, I think in Montreal. And forgot the names of the two comedians, but once they even had Mayan Bialik in there, in their skit, they're comedians. They're all speaking Yiddish. You're hearing conversation.
It's called
Is
Yid
this
Life
Yiddish?
Crisis. And
Yeah.
the Mayan Bialik one is the best. That was hilarious.
One time they're in a hospital.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, I
that's the
remember that
last
one.
one, I think. But it's hysterical.
And you'll hear Yiddish sentences, Yiddish conversation.
Mine
The-
Bialik
the-
speaks Yiddish. Speaks
Yes,
Yiddish.
And there's another site called, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, folks, Yiddish Word of the Day with Rochel Schechter.
Hmm.
And she
that's from
teaches,
the,
yeah, and she
From
teaches some
Forbes.
new words and then repeats them with us saying it.
that's from the forward, the
Okay.
Jewish forward. It's a YouTube video. But the Yiddish Book Center in Amherst, Massachusetts sponsors some classes. They used to be on site before COVID. Now you have a choice. You can do it online, which is what I did in the spring. And there's a textbook that they used called In Einem, means together, I think. In Einem, EYNEM. The book, it's 2 volumes. It's about $100 for the books, and the courses, there's a tuition for the courses too, but they're excellent.
Who is it that puts this on?
The Yiddish Book Center in Amherst, Massachusetts.
All right.
If you're anywhere near Amherst, it's an interesting place to visit.
The National Yiddish Theater had somebody do 15-minute Yiddish, more or less, with Model Didner, and he did, I think, about 2.5 years of lessons. And they're on YouTube, and they start with the basics that you're talking about. How are you? Where do you come from? Where do you live? And then he does a verb conjugation. And then by the third year, they're having fairly decent conversations. You know, he goes through food, he goes through clothes, he goes through different countries.
Oh.
What you like, what you don't like, plants, animals, cooking.
And who put that out?
It's called 15-minute Yiddish, more or less. And it's the National Folkspine Theater, the Yiddish Theater in New York. Parts of the body. And he gets, he just discusses grammar points without hitting them so hard that you get bored, you know, or confused.
You don't get verblunged.
Endrared. Yeah, well, that's interesting. I mean, I am learning a lot from here. I mean, I find that I can't carve out the time to memorize these, but these words, when you really look at these expressions against the words and try and learn the expressions, there is a lot of material here that we are learning. Just the conversational thing is a little different.
I've been taking Yiddish courses for like 3 years with a teacher, and he starts off very basic words, and now we're in our 3rd year and we're getting it a little more deep into grammar. But he's taking it very slowly as introducing grammar. And earlier this year, and then end of last year, we were getting into conjugation.
Uh-huh. And how long are the sessions? An hour?
They were like 1-hour sessions, or hour and a half. I don't remember which. It varied from year to year.
Mhm.
And right now it's an hour session, and there's only myself and another person in this one class, but he gives other classes also.
Mhm. Is this in the evening or during the day?
It was in the right now it's Sunday at noontime.
Uh-huh. That's like having a private tutor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what he does, we
Interesting.
have a bunch of slides that he's put together to teach us, and he also records it. So at the end, like a couple days after the Sunday class, he sends out a copy of the slides and also a copy of the recording.
Okay.
And if you have any questions on any of it, he's available to answer questions. And I've made use of that type availability.
Mhm. That sounds good.
If anybody wants his name, I put on chat my email address. So just send me an email and I'll send you back his name and email address.
All right.
Do we want to hit some more words? How about nieces and nephews? Schwesters, Kinder.
I got all that. All.
Another one, I'll wait till Phil's, mishpacha, family.
Family, right?
Um,
Gesundheit, of course, we say after a sneeze, comes from German, but in Yiddish, Gesundheit is health. Geh Gesundheit is go in good health. Geh Gesundheit.
But what's sei gesund then?
Be healthy.
Be,
Be
yeah,
healthy.
be good, be well. Rebecca, you're almost faded into gray. We can just about see you now.
Yeah, well, the sunset.
Okay.
Geld is money. Like the in German, gold. Ausgeworfene Geld is wasted money, money thrown out. Ausgeworfen is to throw out.
Schluffen is sleep. Gay schluffen, go to sleep.
However, like the Hebrew tova, toiver is a favor, something good. So tut mir a toiver is do me a favor.
Mensch is a person with good standing, let's put it that way. Good character.
And if you remember what the Vaxen in the Sibylla is, there's a shorter expression, Zolst Vaxen Sibylla in Pupik. You should grow onions in your belly button. Pupik is a belly button.
Right.
Pupick for navel or belly button.
I think Al's list is the standard YIVO, so it's just Pupik. I think it's the standard transliteration.
Okay.
Pupik.
So I'm looking at his glossary here and I see the word koyach, which is strength.
Right. From the Hebrew koach.
Yeah, and did anybody see that Netflix show with the diamonds, the Diamond District?
Rough, was it?
Rough Diamonds, yeah, Rough Diamonds, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Whatever the Orthodox guys that were meeting with whatever, when they were using it like almost like hello, goodbye. It's koyach, they would say as they're leaving. So I guess just wishing you strength, maybe that.
And what's the word?
Koach.
Koyach.
Koach, like Yasher Koach.
Right, and that's what I was trying to think of, Yasha Koach, but what does that mean?
May you be strong.
That's what you say when you do an aliyah?
Yeah.
All right. So then I guess they kind of say that as it's just a nice thing, wishing you well, I guess, kind of a thing.
Right, after somebody leads their minyan on Zoom every night, the rest of the people finish and say Yasher Koach for
Yeah.
leading the minyan.
Yeah.
But it's not just good night, it's you should be strong and do it again. Have the strength to do it again.
Uh-huh.
Here's an expression which I never heard before. Al's mentioned it a couple times. For nonsense, there's an idiom in Yiddish, nicht gesteugen, nicht geflogen. Nicht gesteugen means never ascended, never went up. Nicht geflogen never flew. And apparently that is a pejorative, well, not pejorative. It's a,
Don't say it in front of the Gentiles.
right, it's making fun of their religion because it says it's as stupid as Jesus flying up to heaven and ascending.
Oh.
Hmm.
Hope I haven't offended anybody.
How about if we do some numbers?
Good one.
1, ain'ts. 2, zwei. 3, drei.
That's almost German. That's like the
Well,
same words as
somebody
German.
made the remark that Yiddish is the Robin Hood of languages because it stole words and phrases from different languages.
Yeah.
And vier is 4. Fünf is 5. Sechs is 6. Sieben is 7. Acht is 8. 9 is 9. And 10 it's 10.
Okay.
When our cantor many years ago was the 10th one from a minion, for the minion, people would say, "You're the tenor, you're the tenor." He said, "No, I'm not a tenor, I'm a baritone."
If anyone else is looking for a good show in Hebrew and Yiddish, Streisel.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, if you haven't seen it yet, it is well worth watching.
yeah.
Shtisel. It was on Netflix.
They
There's
took
what,
it off.
Like two seasons, right?
There were 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what network it's on now. I know they took it, it was on Netflix. I know they took it off. Because I watched it again before they took it off. I watched it for a second time. And it was just fun to
Yeah.
to listen to and to hear. I kept the closed caption translation on, but
Yeah.
it was all in Hebrew and Yiddish.
But especially that grandmother, she was really funny.
Mhm.
Yeah, I tried to find it again because I watched it straight through once and a little bit more, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Do you have any idea?
I just Googled it. It said yes TV show channel.
Oh,
So I
that's
don't know what the
that's
yes-
Israeli. I think
Oh.
that's Israeli.
Okay.
Some of these older programs are on Comcast. If you say into your remote on demand, some of these old programs come up.
It's not that it's 10 years old. It came out in 2013 is when the first season aired. And it was really very, very good.
Another interesting program I saw recently was Jewish matchmaking.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't seen that yet. It is good.
There's
Yeah.
no Yiddish in there, but it's just interesting how she tries to make matches.
Uh-huh.
My husband really finds that show irritating because they're very stereotyped, some of the people. Did you find that?
No,
No?
I did not.
Srugim is another one, but it's Israeli, but there is a little bit of Yiddish in there. It's about, have you heard of Srugim?
I've been watching it. It's on JBS,
Yeah,
on the
that's
Jewish
really,
broadcast system.
that's good too. It's about some modern Orthodox single people, single professionals who live in a certain neighborhood in Jerusalem.
The
And
swamp in English.
the swamp, yes. And you know, they try to form relationships, and this is, you know, it's a story about each of them.
The toughest one is a guy who's been divorced. Nobody,
Yeah.
he's trying to keep it a secret because nobody will touch him. None of the women will touch him because he's been divorced.
Wow.
Yeah, because they're so religious.
Could you put the name of that program on the chat?
Just SRUGIM. It refers to the crocheted yarmulkes that religious people wear. Srugim means crocheted.
SRUTIM.
G. Third,
Gee, it's
fourth
in the
letter is a
chat.
G.
I put it in the chat, but it's really well done. Yeah, I was so sad at the end to leave those people. I felt like I'd really gotten engaged in their program and with their characters.
When somebody mentioned knitted yarmulkes,
That's
Um,
Srugim. That's
some
what
of
the
my
meaning
older
is, Srugim.
friends who were teenagers and had girlfriends, their girlfriends would knit yarmulkes for them.
Oh. I'm just gonna put Youth Life Crisis in there. It takes place in Montreal. And
That's hilarious, hilarious.
great.
Midlife.
Youth Life Crisis.
Find it
a se-
YouTube,
The best one is the one with Mayim Bialik, right?
right, right.
Watch that one first.
She's shaping up these guys for possible matchmaking or possible mate.
Yeah, it's like, you know, they were matched to meet and see if they like each other. And it's really cute.
Excellent. I've got some things to look for.
I'm gonna call it an evening. I hope
That's
Al
okay.
is okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
I really appreciate everybody sticking in there.
Yes, no, thank you. I enjoyed the chat,
Oh.
you know.
Okay.
I
wanna
learned a
thank
lot of
you.
Yiddish tonight myself. Thank
And
you.
now I'm gonna go on YouTube.
There you go.
Have a good evening, everyone.
All right.
Good evening.
Danke.
Sei gesund.
Sei gesund. Sei gesund.
Gute Nacht.
Take care.
Bye-bye.